Welcome back for today's session. Today we are going to learn about voiced and voiceless sounds. So in the last class, I have started teaching, phonetics. In the yesterday's class, we have seen, uh, you know, um, the organs of speech, okay, and how there are two kinds of sounds: voiced sounds and voiceless sounds. These we have seen. We'll recapitulate once again for our further study. Okay, what we are going to learn in this class, I'm going to speak about voiced and voiceless. I'm sorry, voiced and voiceless sounds and manner of articulation. These two we are going to learn. And what is the outcome I'm expecting from a student is, you'll be able to distinguish between voiced sound and voiceless sound. What is voiced sound and what is voiceless sound? And you'll be able to distinguish between vowels and consonants also. Okay, and we are going to learn, if time permits, we'll see some aspects of manner of articulation. What are the teaching aids I'm using for this? PPT and textbook. Now, yeah, so yesterday we have seen it, and these are the organs of speech. All these about all these organs we have seen it in the last class, right? Lips are used for production of speech, teeth, ridge, hard palate, soft palate, right? Windpipe, vocal cords, nasal cavity or nose, right? So all these are used in speech production. That's why they are called organs of speech, that we have seen in the last class. Today we are going to see voiced and voiceless sounds. For it, we have to know something about vocal cords. Okay, that we are going to see now. See, this is a human face. Okay, in this human face, uh, yes, in this human face, lips, teeth, okay, hard palate, soft palate, and teeth ridge, nose and nasal cavity, tongue. Okay, here vocal cords. Okay, this is a windpipe, right? This is food pipe. In this windpipe here, we can say voice box. Okay, in Telugu we can say Swarapetika. So what is this? Larynx. It is called voice box, this area, right? And this is a windpipe. This is a food channel. Food goes in this way. Okay, and if we enlarge this figure, if we enlarge this figure, it appears like this. This area, appears like this, and in this, uh, this is a voice box. In this, there are two elements. Two parts are there. What are the two parts? This is one part. This is another part. They are just like doors. To close a way, it is like doors, two doors. Okay, they are uh, plate like arrangement. Okay, plates like arrangement. These two are called vocal cords. These two are called vocal cords. Okay, vocal, yeah. And see, um, when we swallow food, vocal folds are closed, our vocal cords are closed when we swallow. When we are swallowing some food, we are taking some food. What happens here? These vocal cords close. Okay, they are closed, and the food cannot enter through our windpipe. If it is opened, the food may fall into windpipe. If it fall into windpipe, it reaches to lungs, and a lot of infections will take place. So for that, our body closes these two vocal cords while we are taking food. That's why our elders used to say, while eating, don't speak, because for speaking, you need to operate your vocal cords. What happens while you are speaking? Okay, air causes vocal cords to vibrate between open and closed position when we talk. These vocal cords, it moved to far extent, right? In this, it is moved far extent. A lot of, opening is here. Okay, a lot of opening is here, and they are vibrating. Okay, there is a vibration in the vocal cords. Okay, they are vibrating means they are shaking. Okay, for some other sounds they are very near. Okay, they are very near, and yeah, when it is like this, then there is a vibration. When they are in nearly close position, there will be vibration. When they are somewhat open position, it is called even breathing position. Okay, vocals are open when we breathe quietly. When we breathe quietly, so their vocal cords are open. Okay, uh, so that's why the sounds, voiceless sounds, are called breathing sounds, because the position of vocal cords are just like when we breathe air. Okay, and what about this position? The vocal cords are somewhat closer, and there is some gap. Okay, and in this place the vocal cords vibrate, they shake. Okay, the shaking in the vocal cords, right? When the vocal cords will shake, the air which is coming out, it also vibrates, right? We can see the vibration in the air also. Okay, when there is a vibration in the vocal cords, those sounds are called voiced sounds. When there is no vibration in the vocal cords, they are called voiceless sounds. Okay, in voiceless sounds, the vocal cords are in open position. Okay, they are in open position. What is this position then? When we swallow food, the vocal cords are closed, in a closed position. What these two positions? When we are using voiceless sounds, the vocal cords are wide apart, they moved into breathing position, and there is no vibration at all in the vocal cords. When we are pronouncing voiced sounds, vocal cords are very near, and there is a shaking in the vocal cords, or there is a vibration in the vocal cords. Okay, I have given you example of one uh, open, and one one voiced sound and one voiceless sound in the last class. And for example, if I take sound. When you pronounce if sound, is it voiceless or voiced? If you are able to listen it, it is not voiced. What is voiced? There must be vibration in your vocal cords. There here in the vocal cords there must be shaking. How can you observe that shaking? So by placing your fingers at your voice box, and at this place, if you place your fingers at this part, you can feel the vibration. And when you pronounce sound, there is no vibration at all. But if you pronounce sound, sound, if you pronounce continuously sound, and pronounce sound, there is no vibration, vibration, right? So this is very simple technique to observe a particular sound is voiced or voiceless, right? Then tell me now, uh, sound is voiced or voiceless? Sound. So just check yourself. When you pronounce sound, there is a vibration at your vocal cords. Sound, right? If you pronounce sound, sound, there is no vibration at all. In this way, we can divide the 44 sounds into voiced sounds and voiceless sounds. Some are voiced sounds, some are voiceless sounds. Okay, I think it is clear. Then we'll move to the next level. Yeah. For voiced sounds, there is vibration. For voiceless sounds, there is no vibration, and vocal cords are wide apart. And vowel and consonant sounds. Okay, how to differentiate? How to distinguish? Okay, separate consonant sounds from vowel sounds. Okay, what are consonant sounds? What are vowel sounds? Here I want to make one suggestion, that as I am teaching in English almost completely, some of you may not understand completely, right? I know some students may face some problems in understanding in English completely, but to improve your English, okay, to learn English, okay, you are expected to listen the classes in English. మనం ఇంగ్లీష్ నేర్చుకుంటున్నప్పుడు దాన్ని మనం తెలుగులో మళ్ళీ చెప్పుకుంటూ ఉంటే సో ఇంగ్లీష్ మరి నేర్చుకోవడానికి ఎక్కడ అవకాశం ఉండదు. సో దట్స్ వై ఐ టీచ్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్ whenever a word is difficult, whenever I think you are unable to understand a particular concept, then I'll try to explain in Telugu. And wherever you are unable to understand, if you tell me through WhatsApp, that portion I'll try to explain in Telugu again. Okay, but try to understand in English only. That helps you a lot. And consonant sounds, when you speak, if there is any stoppage or any obstruction in the airflow or friction in the airflow, Okay, those sounds are called consonant sounds. I'll explain with the diagram. And what are vowel sounds? There is no stoppage or there is no friction in the air flow. If there is no stoppage or if there is no friction at all in the air flow, they are called vowel sounds. We'll go again to organs of speech. In this diagram, if you see what I have told you in the last class, so the air from lungs flow like a stream through windpipe into this area, and it enters into mouth or nose. Okay, through nose only 3 sounds, the remaining 41 sounds through mouth only. So they enter into the mouth and they flow out through our teeth and lips. The air is flowing like this. Okay, when the air is flowing like this, okay, if we stop at any place, okay, if we stop the air at any place, uh, you know uh, if we stop the air at any place, then it is called obstruction or stoppage. When you pronounce pa sound, okay, when you pronounce pa sound, what we are doing? Okay, we are stopping the air at the place of lips, right? Pa, when you say sound, you are stopping the air at lips. So as you are stopping the air flow, the air is flowing like this. When the air is flowing like this, what you are doing to pronounce this sound? You are stopping the air flow at the place of lips. So is it a consonant or a vowel? So we can easily say that it is a consonant. Why it is a consonant? Because there is a stoppage or there is an obstruction in the air flow. So that's why it is a consonant sound. So when you pronounce sa sound, when you pronounce sa sound, what happens? Your tongue rises very near to teeth ridge. Your tongue rises very near to teeth ridge, and as there is very small gap, the air which is coming from lungs, it comes up to here freely. As very less gap is there at this place, it goes out with friction. It goes out with friction. For the sounds, for which sounds it comes like this, for sounds, sound. When you pronounce sound, what you are doing? You are taking your tongue very near to teeth ridge. There is very little gap. From that little gap, the air is flowing out. The air is flowing out through that very little gap. Okay, so it is called friction. What is the difference in the earlier sound? We stopped it completely. We stopped for pa sound. Okay, for sa sound, we are not stopping the airflow, but we are creating some friction on the airflow. The air is the air has to come out of your mouth from very small area. So that's why it is called as friction. Okay, then right. Then okay, next, for some other sounds, okay, there is no stoppage and there is no friction at all. For example, if you pronounce E sound, okay, this is a symbol for E sound. In Telugu, we can say like this, right? E sound. When we pronounce E sound, there is no stoppage at any place. There is no friction like sound. When you pronounce sound, there is friction. When you pronounce pa sound, there is stoppage. But when you pronounce, e sound, then there is no friction, there is no stoppage. When there is no friction, when there is no stoppage, those sounds are called, vowels. Those sounds are called as vowels. Okay. For example, oo sound. To pronounce oo sound. Okay, oo sound. Is it a consonant or a vowel? Yes, it is a vowel sound. Why vowel? Because there is no stoppage and there is no friction in the airflow. The air is flowing freely without much friction. Ooh, sound. Okay, and you may feel a little bit of friction, but it doesn't come under friction at all. The friction must be like sound or sound. Okay, and oo is a vowel sound, right? I think you are able to understand now, that what you will able to understand. Okay, right. So consonant and vowel sounds, right? What the difference between consonant sounds and vowel sounds? In consonant sounds, obstruction or stoppage, and in vowel sounds, there is no stoppage, no friction in the airflow. For example, this is pronounced actually as a sound, a. It is pronounced as, in Telugu, it is a. Okay, a. When you pronounce a sound, there is no friction, there is no stoppage. When you pronounce ta sound, ta, okay, you are touching, your teeth ridge with your tongue. You are stopping the air flow. Okay, the air, is stopped. Okay, when you release your tongue, then only the air comes out. So that's why it is called as a consonant. What about sa sound? There is a friction. Your tongue is not touching it, and there is a very small gap. The air is coming out. So it is also called consonant. Now, uh, yeah, we'll learn now about consonants first. Okay, we'll learn about consonants. We have, in total, okay, 44 sounds are there in English. How many letters we have? 26 letters from A to Z, right? From A to Z, we have 26 letters. Sounds are 44. Okay. Among the 44 sounds, how many are consonant sounds? 24 are consonant sounds. Okay. 24 sounds are consonant. Okay. Right. So I have told you just now. Okay, how to differentiate consonant and vowel sounds. But in between, there is a method, some more, sub methods to distinguish consonant sounds. Okay, there are three topics are there related to consonant sounds. One is manner of articulation, the second is the place of articulation, the third is position of glottis. Okay, yeah. What is a glottis? And I have to go again to this picture. The gap between vocal parts. Here there is no glottis, and from these two vocal cords there is some gap. That gap is called as glottis. That gap, it is not an organ. Glottis is only the gap between vocal parts. So in this diagram also we have glottis. What is the glottis here? It is the opened area in between vocal parts. For some sounds, okay, the glottis is vibrated. Okay, the air in the place of glottis is vibrated. In which sounds it vibrates? In the voiced sounds. Why the air vibrates? Because the vocal cords are vibrating, so the vibration goes to the air at the place of glottis also. Okay, so glottis is vibrated. For some sounds, when it is in a breathing position or when it is a voiceless sounds, there is no vibration in the glottis. When it is a voiced sounds, okay, there is a vibration in the vocal cords, and the air in between the vocal cords, that is in the glottis area, okay, that also vibrates. That decides whether one sound is voiced sound or voiceless sound. Right. So, the first one is manner of articulation. In the manner of articulation, we are going to study, how the air flows out, how the air is coming out. Okay, manner, in which manner, in which way. Okay, for everything, there will be some manners. For example, if a player, if you take cricket, okay, every batsman plays in his own manner, right? In his own manner. So the style will be different. In the same way, in the articulation of consonants, the air flows in a different manners. Now already you have seen three kinds of manners. What are the three kinds of manners of the airflow? One is stoppage. When you pronounce, the sound like pa, what's happening on the airflow? Air is coming up to your lips, okay, and it is blocked. When you open your lips, then only the air is coming out. So it is one manner, coming up to your mouth and being stopped, and it comes out when it is released. It is one manner. Another manner is your tongue is going very near to teeth ridge, and there is very little gap. From that gap, the air is coming out continuously. It is another manner. There is a difference between the first manner and this manner. In the first manner, it is stopped completely and released later. In the second manner, there is a very little gap between tongue and teeth ridge. The air the air comes out with friction, right? In another manner, and the third manner, in the vowels we have seen, there is no friction and there is no stoppage. The airflow is flowing in a manner. What's the manner? It is without any friction, very free flow of air, right? And the place of articulation. What is the place of articulation? In the place of articulation, we'll learn about passive articulator and active articulator. I'll tell you when we come to that topic. Okay, now we'll see place of articulation. For the sounds like pa sound or ba sound. Okay, pa or ba. Which part of your mouth is used to pronounce or to produce that sound? You used your lips. Okay, pa. Okay, pa. You used your lips. The place we can say is the place of lips only. Okay, for example, for ta sound, for ta sound, it is not at the place of lips. It is at the place of teeth ridge. You are using your teeth ridge to pronounce this sound. Okay, then what is the place of glottis? I said whether it is about uh, place of glottis, whether it is vibrated or is it without vibration. Okay, when it is vibrated, we can say it is voiced sound. When it is not vibrated, it is a voiceless sound. So we can differentiate based on these three categories. Okay, it is very important. One is how the air is coming out. The second is at which place we are stopping the air or we are creating friction on the air. What is the third one? Whether the vocal cords are vibrating or not. These three are important. Okay, one is airflow, one is airflow. The second one is part of your mouth. The second one is vibration of vocal cords, right? Whether they are vibrating or not. These three are very important for our discussion of consonants. Today we will see only the manner of articulation. So in the manner of articulation, we can say there are 7 types of manners. In these 7 types, the air can flow out of your mouth. How many types we have seen already? We have seen, 3 types, right? One is stoppage, the another one is friction, the another one is without any friction. Okay, right. The first one is called, plosives. Plosives. Okay, plosive. Plosives means, we can say it as complete closure, complete closure. Okay, closure and sudden release, sudden release. Complete closure and sudden release. Will close completely and releases suddenly. For example, for the sound of pa, pa, what we are doing, we are closing it completely. Okay, there is no gap at all. Okay, air cannot escape until you release your mouth. If you release your lips. Okay, so that is called complete closure. And how we are releasing? We are not releasing, very slowly. We are releasing suddenly. pa, pa, complete close and sudden release. Even ta also, ta sound. Here, closing completely and releasing suddenly, even for ta sound also. And what are the sounds come at that place, we'll discuss later. And here what you have to remember, it is complete closure and sudden release. Then now, for fricatives, okay, fricatives, you have seen fricative means friction, okay, little gap, okay, between the articulators. Articulators means we use two parts, okay, to create gap, or to create stoppage, okay. For fricatives, for fa sound, when you pronounce fa sound, what I am using, I am using lower lip and upper teeth, okay. I am using lower lip and upper teeth. I am creating some very little gap between lower lip and upper teeth. From that very little gap, the air escapes, the air comes out of that little gap, okay. When the air comes out of that little gap, it comes with friction, so that's why it is called fricative. Can you identify the difference between plosives and fricatives? What is plosives? Complete closure and sudden release, okay, completely closed. But for fricatives, little gap, and the air comes with friction, okay. I'll come to affricates later. I'll come now to lateral, okay. Lateral means the uh, the gap, uh, the gap at at the both sides of the tongue, both sides of the tongue, okay. When you pronounce this sound, when you pronounce this sound, the sound is, we have only one sound here, that is l sound. When you pronounce l, la sound, okay, the you, it is not complete closure like plosives. When you say ta, ta sound, your mouth is closed completely, okay. But when you say la sound, your mouth is opened at both sides of your tongue, so then the air escapes through both sides of your tongue. So as both sides of tongue are opened, the air escapes continuously, okay. And we can't say it is a fricative, because it is touching at the teeth ridge, but the gap is there at both sides. It is called as lateral sound. It is called as lateral. The gap at the sides of both sides of the tongue, lateral. And you can observe the difference between these three sounds. Then nasal, okay. It is very easy to air escapes through or comes out through nose. If air comes out of nose, if air comes out through our nose, that sounds are called nasal, okay. For example, sound, ma sound, right? The air is escaping through your nose only. For sound, sound, okay. For ing, okay. I think I can't use the symbol here. I'm just writing ing, sound. For that also, the air escapes through nose, okay. These three are called nasal sounds, okay. They are called nasal sounds. Then semi vowels. There is another name for semi vowels, that is approximates. Okay, approximates. Approximate means it is almost vowel. Semi-vowel means it is almost vowel. Okay, there is not much friction. There is not much, there is no closure at all. For e sound, e sound, it is a vowel. It is because there is no friction at all. Okay, but for sound there is friction. That's why we call it as fricative. But some sounds, uh, you know, uh, there is no very little friction. It is almost in between friction, fricative and vowel sound. This symbol indicates ya sound, ya. Okay, e sound. When you say e, ya, okay, it is not like fricative, or it is not like e, like it is not like that. It is not a fricative. It is not a vowel. It is in between, a consonant and a vowel. That's why it is called as a semi-vowel type. Okay, and ya, e sound. Though we call it as a consonant, the manner is just like vowel. Okay, there is very less friction, so that's why it is a, semi vowel type. And another is also there, that is va sound. Okay, it is not va. I'll have to go to the diagram again. Yeah, in this diagram, when you pronounce va sound, what happens? The lower lip goes to upper teeth. The lower lip goes to upper. This lip goes to upper teeth, right? And for va sound, for w sound, okay, for va sound, the lip doesn't go to the upper teeth. These two lips are rounded. Okay, the lips are rounded. What? Okay, what? Lips must be rounded when there is a w sound. Okay, when there is a W sound, the lips are rounded. Okay, wa sound. Again, in this sound also very less friction. But if I use wa sound, wa sound. Okay, when I use my lower lip to upper teeth for the production of this sound, then it is fricative because sound, lower lip is going to upper teeth. For the sound that comes with W is lips are rounded, that is sound. Wa, what, what. Okay, that's why it is called as a semi-vowel sound. What is trill? Okay, trill means in the production of this sound, the active articulator, active articulator, articulator touches, the passive articulator many times. Okay, touches and releases, touches and releases the passive articulator many times. Okay, if it does in that way, we can say it is trill. There is only one sound, that is ra. Okay, for example, if you pronounce the same word trill, trill. So for the pronunciation ra sound, ra, okay, ra. So the tongue is touching it a number of times. Okay, number of times. touching and releasing. Okay, that is called trill. For R, it can be a trill or it can be a flap also. Flap means, for example, a word like carry, carry. Okay, father, carry, or to say uh, reader, read, read. When you say read, okay, it is not a trill, right? I'm not saying read, right? Uh, Read, just flap, okay, carry, okay. But for trill, without using the number of times touching it, it is not pronounced to, it is not easy to pronounce trill. Okay, to pronounce trill, it has to touch many times, then it is another type of articulation. Now here see, it is complete closure. For fricative, very little gap. For lateral, both sides of tongue gapped, both sides of tongue. For nasal, air escapes through nose. For semi-vowel, it is in between consonant and vowel. Uh, there is some friction. It doesn't have much friction, and the vowels don't have any friction, so that's why they are called vowels. As it is, why it is called semi-vowel? It has a little bit of friction, but not like fricatives. So that's why it is called semi-vowel. And trill, the what are the active and passive articulators? Again, we have to go to the diagram here. The upper part, uh, you know um, uh, the organs of speech are called passive articulators. The lower part, articulators or parts are called active articulators. Mostly the lower part articulators move towards upper part. Okay, to pronounce ta sound, your tongue is moving towards teeth. Teeth is not moving towards tongue. As tongue is moving, it is called active. The teeth, the teeth ridge is not moving, it is called passive. In fa sound, lower lip is moving towards upper teeth, so lower lip is active articulator, upper teeth is passive articulator. Okay, then yes, then the last one is affricates. What are affricates? Affricates, it's like a plosive only, but it is, I'll write here, complete closure and slow release. Complete closure and slow release. For example, the sounds like cha, how you used, for example, chain, cha sound, cha. Okay, when you say pa, pa, the lips are released suddenly. But when you pronounce cha sound, cha, okay, cha, the tongue is falling down very slowly. I'll tell you, I'll show you here in the diagram. I know how it happens. Right. In this diagram, what happens is when you pronounce cha sound, the blade of the tongue, it raises like this. It touches, some part of hard palate, some part of teeth ridge. It touches like this when you pronounce cha. So that's why its release is somewhat slow. When the lips are touching, okay, and it can be released very fast, pa. When for the ta sound also, the tip of the tongue is touching the teeth ridge, so its release is sudden, ta. But for cha, okay, as this much part of the tongue is touching, so its release is somewhat slow. For the sounds, cha and ja. Okay, for cha, ja sounds, we'll say they are affricates. Cha sound, and the other one is a ja sound. These two are called affricates. Complete closure but slow release. We'll see once again in plosives, complete closure, sudden release, fricatives, little gap, and affricates, complete close, slow release, lateral gap at the both sides of the tongue, nasal, the air escapes through nose, semi-vowel, there is very less friction in the air stream, right? It is just like a vowel. Trill, the tongue touches a number of times. Okay, these are the manner of articulation. The air is escaping all these manners, right? We'll recap again, right? What I have seen, what we have seen, voiced and voiceless sounds. In voiceless sounds, the vocal cords are wide apart. Okay, they move. They are in an open position. They are in a breathing position, and the air escapes through, the vocal cords without any vibration. And in voiced sounds, the vocal cords are somewhat in a closer position, and they are vibrating. The air escapes through vibration. The gap between vocal cords is called glottis. Okay, when the vocal cords vibrate, there is a vibration in the air in the glottis that decides whether it is a voiced sound or voiceless sound. And the vibration voiced, no vibration voiceless. And how can we differentiate, or how can we divide sounds into vowel and consonants? In the consonant sounds there is obstruction or stoppage, or friction, right? And in vowel sounds there is no stoppage, there is no friction. And consonants, there are three conditions: manner of articulation, place of articulation, and position of glottis. And what is manner? It is how the air is flowing out, in which manner it is flowing out. Place of articulation, where we are stopping or where we are creating friction. What is position of glottis? Whether there is a vibration or not. That is position of glottis. Among these three, we have seen manner of articulation. How many manners of articulation are here? Plosives, fricatives, affricates, lateral, nasal, semi-vowel, and trill. We have seen them. Okay. Now, in the next class, we are going to learn about, we are going to learn about place of articulation. Okay.